So, hashing basics. Learn about hashing functions and their uses in password verification and file integrity checking. Easy. 75 minutes. Is there a lot to read? I think it's a lot of practical work in this one. So that's probably why it's supposed to take some time. So it's snowing. Matches the outside of my window here. Consider the scenario where you just downloaded a 6 GB file and want to know whether the copy you downloaded is identical to the original file bit for bit. How would you do that? Or if a good Samaritan handed you a 6 GB file on a USB memory drive, how can you be sure it's identical to the one you want to download? The answer to both of these questions lies in comparing the hash value of the two files. If two hash values are equal, you can see that with very high certainty that the two files are identical. But what is a hash value? A hash value is a fixed size string of characters that is computed by a hash function. A hash function takes the input of an arbitrary size and returns the output of a fixed length, i.e. a hash value. We will cover various exciting and clever uses of hash functions and values in this room. Note about terminology. We flavored the terms hash functions and hash value. However, occasionally we will use the word hash as a verb and mean calculate the hash value. Moreover, we occasionally use the word hash by itself as a noun to refer to the hash value. Do they really need to explain that? Room prerequisites. This room is a third of the 3 consecutive rooms about cryptography. Therefore, we reference the topics in the previous 2 rooms. It is recommended that you finish at least 2 rooms before attending this one. Learning objectives. Upon the completion of this room, you will learn about hash functions and collisions, the rule of hashing in authentication systems, recognize and store hash values, checking hash values, the use of hashing for integrity protection. To follow along, let's start the virtual machine by pressing the start machine button below. Hop. I was like, did this not hop to the wrong place? Yeah, it did. I have some lemon yogurt. This machine will start in split screen view. You can also access it with SSH. So bye. We can SSH. Yes. So we still needed to start. So user TryHackMe 123 exclamation mark. Can we remember that? The IP will be there soon. There, probably. Because it hopped. So we have an IP. Let's hop back to the screen. And let's see. Yeah, so of course we can close responder. Oh right, I was going to copy this to the notes as example of responder output. That was close. Very close. So I created this new thing here where I put my responder. examples. We're going to have an example output too.
Morning, Fix It. I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. Smile, smile.
I did, thank you. Hope you had the same. So, hope everything is good with you now. Let's see. I'm gonna type example output, I think. Yeah, so a lot of people I haven't seen in a bit. That's great. Welcome back in. So, the good thing here with Obsidian is that if you don't want to see this, you can just I'm looking for the help.
Yeah, we had a nice quiet one.
Nice. We kind of did too, but there was still a lot of progress for, especially one of my kids. So I'm actually going to. Nah, let's just leave it as it is. Let's just leave it there. So now we can exit that. Okay, not 2 exits. Oh, this one is also done. Oh my. So we're going to SSH to user at actually 220.20.85. There.
Mayank Lange says, hey, search about Rakshit Tandon.
Hi, welcome in. Is that something special that you want me to search about? Let's see here. Let's remember the password for the user here. So I copied too much. There.
Mayank Lange says, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure. So we're in the box. So I'm copying here. Cybersecurity expert in India. It says. So, is there something special about him that you wanted to share?
Mayank Lange says, thank you so much.
So you have Google too, right? Yeah, but I can look at that later. So thank you. I'm currently connecting to a lot of people on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll connect to that person too. We'll see. So what is hash functions? Hash functions are different from encryption. There's no key, and it's meant to be
Mayank
impossible.
Lange says, okay.
Or in computer, impractical, like taking a million years to go from the output back to the input. A hash function takes some input data of any size and creates a summary of the digest of the data.
Oh, those messages are from your YouTube. I was confused for a moment. Smile, smile.
Ah, yeah, it's YouTube. It's YouTube messages. Yeah, so we're talking about hashes, so of course it is impossible. It's not only impractical, it's impossible. We're not talking about encryption now. So a hash function takes some input data of any size and creates a summary or digest of that data. The output has a fixed size. It's hard to predict the output for any input or vice versa. Good hashing algorithms will be relatively fast to compute, and relatively slow to reverse. I go from the output to determine the input. Any slight change in the input data, even a single bit, should be a significant change to the output. Go back? Yeah, I'm like, what? If it's a tiny bit of data? Let's check an example. In the terminal below, we can see two files. The first contains the letter T, while the second contains the letter U. If you check T and U in the ASCII table or using hexdump, you will notice that the two letters are different by a single bit. T is 54 and U is 55. These in binary. Consequently, the following two files differ with a single bit. However, if we compare their MD5, message digest algorithm 5 hashes, and their SHA-1 secure hash algorithm 1 hashes, or their SHA-256 secure hash algorithm 256 hashes, we will notice that they are entirely different. We recommend that you try the commands below yourself. The files are located in Hashing Basics Task 2. So, we have connected to this one, and I'm assuming that they want us to do this there. I don't know why though. It's not like we can make these files ourselves. Well, let's see. Hashing basics. Nah, it's bash. So, yeah, I have the uppercase T. 2. So here we have file 1 and file 2. So, let's do as they suggest and cat the files. So let's cat F1 and cat file 2. Okay, yeah, there's no new line, so we can only see the single letters here, T and U. And then we do hexdump. We don't really need to do hexdump, do we? Let's just do all the things, right? C. File1.txt. So it's always good to practice stuff, even if it's very simple, right? So let's do the same with 2. Because the more you use commands, the more they're just in your brain, right? So I'm just following along here, catting, hexdumping. The next has to do with the MD5 sums SHA-1 and SHA-256 of everything in the directory. That's text files, right? So let's do MD5 sum. Oh gosh, I'm typing in the screen where I was. I didn't want to do that, right? We want to do it here. MD5 sum. Star.txt. And then we do SHA-1. I think it's article text files.txt in Linux. But maybe that's just me. So SHA-256 sum star.txt. So obviously they are different, right? And at the same time, obviously they're the same as these, because it's the same value that's being exactly the same, also because it's the same files on the same machine, right? The output of a hash function is typically raw bytes, which are then encoded. Common encodings are base 64 hexadecimal, MD5 sum, SHA-1 sum, SHA-256 sum, and SHA-412 sum produce their outputs in hexadecimal format. Remember that hexadecimal format prints each raw byte as 2 hexadecimal digits. Why is hashing important? Hashing plays a vital role in our daily use of the internet. Like other cryptographic functions, hashing remains hidden from the user. Hashing helps protect data's integrity and ensure password confidentiality. Consider this example of hashing being used to protect your cybersecurity. When you log into TryHackMe, the server uses hashing to verify your password. In fact, as per good security practices, the server does not record your password, it records the hash value of your password. Whenever you want to log in, it will calculate the hash value of the password you submitted with a recorded hash value. Similarly, when you log into your computer, hashing plays a role in verifying your password. You interact more indirectly with hashing than you would think, and almost daily in the context of passwords. What's a hash collision? A hash collision is when two different inputs give the same output. Hash functions are designed to avoid collisions as best as possible. Furthermore, hash functions are designed to prevent an attacker from being able to engineer a collision intentionally. However, because the number of inputs is practically unlimited and the number of possible output is limited, this leads to a pigeonhole effect. As a numeric example, if a hash function produces a 4-bit hash value, we only have 16 different values. The total number of possible hash values is 2 number of bits. So 2 up to 4 is 60. What do you call it? 2 exponent 4 or something? I kind of read it in Swedish, which is odd. The probability of a collection is relatively very high. The pigeonhole effect states that the number of items, pigeons, is more than the number of containers, pigeonholes. Some containers must hold more than one item. In other words, in this context, there are a fixed number of different output values for the hash function, but you can give it any size input. As there are more inputs than outputs, some inputs must inevitably give the same output. There you're giving a lot of text on this basic thing that's obvious, right? If you have 21 pigeons and 16 pigeonholes, some of the pigeons are going to share the pigeonholes. Consequently, collisions are unavoidable. However, a good hash function ensures that the probability of collision is negligible. It's mostly that you shouldn't be able to intentionally engineer a collision. That's the thing, right? MD5 and SHA-1 has been attacked and are now considered insecure due to ability to engineer hash collisions. However, no attack has yet given a collision in both algorithms simultaneously. So if you compare MD5 and SHA-1 hashes, you will see that they're different. You can view the MD5 collision example of the MD5 collision demo page. Furthermore, you can read the details of the SHA-1 collision attack it shattered. Due to these, you shouldn't trust neither algorithm for hashing passwords or data, but maybe you should trust both. Then I'm adding, so if you check both, it should be kind of safe. What is the size of what is not the size, the hash of the password? Right, so there was another file here in the directory, and I noticed I was thinking, yeah, so this is for the tasks at the end of the questions. So let's do Shaw and just do star because I'm lazy, and then we got it. So it's not like it takes time. What is the output size in bytes of the MD5 hash function? MD5. Let's do it carefully here and count. So MD5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have the same again. 8. So we calculated that it is 16. Not by thinking though. If you have an 8-bit hash output, how many possible hash values are there? There are... so, should we do the calculator for this one? We should calculate, not just say stuff, right? So, we got a nice little thing before. How to calculate it. So, let's do 2 with an exponent. Where is it? There. No, not 2. And we want 8 bits. So then we have 256, right? 256. So, we're very thorough now, right? Insecure password storage for authentication. Hashing has many uses in cybersecurity. In this room, we will focus on 2 uses, password storage and data integrity. We refer to password storage when used for authentication. It's important to note that this does not apply to password managers, where you must retrieve your password in clear text. On the other hand, authentication mechanisms only need to confirm that the user knows the password, so they can be granted access to the resource. Therefore, this problem differs from password managers. Obviously, stories of insecure password storage for authentication. Most web applications need to verify a user's password at some point. Storing these passwords in plain text is a very insecure security practice. You've probably seen news stories about companies that have had their databases leaked. Knowing that many people use the same password on various accounts, including their online banking. Leaking the password of one account jeopardizes the security of all other accounts. We will visit 3 insecure practices when it comes to passwords. Storing passwords in plain text, storing password using deprecated encryption, storing passwords using an insecure hashing algorithm, storing passwords in plain text. Quite a few data breaches have leaked plain text password. You're probably familiar with the RockUTXT password list on Kali Linux, among many other offensive security distributions. This password list came from RockU, a company that developed social media applications and widgets. They stored their passwords in plain text, and the company had a data breach. The text file contains over 14 million passwords. You can find RockUTXT in the user share wordless directory. So, I'm skipping counting, using VCL to count how many words or lines there's in here. And here's the most common ones, right? Using an insecure encryption algorithm. Adobe's notable data breach was slightly different. Instead of using a secure hashing function to store the hash values of the password, the company used a deprecated encryption format. Furthermore, password hints were stored in plain text, sometimes containing the password itself. Consequently, the plain text password could be retrieved relatively quickly using an insecure hash function. LinkedIn also suffered from a data breach in 2012, and I think it was in there. LinkedIn used an insecure hashing algorithm, the SHA-1, to store user passwords. Furthermore, no password salting was used. Password salting refers to adding a salt, i.e. a random value, to the password before it has like a few years ago, I received emails with people saying, "I know your password" in the main line. It's not like people sending; it's just their mass mailing. Probably from this. So it was like much further after that. It was long after it happened. Furthermore, no password salting was used. Password salting refers to adding a salt, a random value, to the password before it is hashed. What is the 20th password of RackUTC? And of course we have to use it on this box, right? So I guess. So how many lines to head to? We can say, right? So lines n. So instead of 10, we wanted to do n20. And we wanted to do user share word lists RockU. So it's QWERTY. We could never have guessed, right? Using hashing for secure password storage. This is where hashing comes in. What if instead of storing the password?
That's my password. Wow.
Oh my god, I got ya! Yeah, so who has never used a password containing QWERTY? I admit I have used that as a part of my password. It was actually part of the password that I got mailed.
Never used QWERTY actually.
Not only QWERTY, but like have it a part somewhere in the password to make it like a long, messy thing.
Not even part of the password.
Good.
We used to use ASCII a lot though.
Ah. Yeah. LKJ. Okay, so us LKJ.
Easy to type.
Yeah. So I think that most things that you type a lot though are easy. So if you, that's the reuse of passwords, right?
And we added 123 to the end.
Yeah. We could see if it's in there. Like ASD LKJ123. Is it in there in the rack here? What do you think? Now I have to know. So let's just grab it.
Might be.
We can use grab it once, but I'm more comfortable using cat. So let's cat this thing. This tiny file to grab. And let's do, see if it's in there. It's there. It got ya too. So
that's the overuse of cat when it's not needed. I do cat file vertical bar grep all the time too though.
Yeah, it's like a nice thing. Using hashing to store passwords. This is where hashing comes in. What if instead of storing the password, you just store the hash value using the secure hashing function? This process means that you never have to store the user's password, and if your database is leaked, an attacker will have to crack each password, find out what the password was. There's just one problem with this. What if two users have the same password? As a hash function will always return the same input to the same output. You will store the same password hash for each user. This means that if someone cracks that hash, they gain access to more than one account. It also means someone can create a rainbow table to break the hashes. A rainbow table is a lookup table. Let's scroll down there. That converts hashes to plain text, so you can quickly find out what password the user had just from the hash. The rainbow table trades the time to crack the hash for hard drive space, but it takes time to create. Here's a quick example to get an idea of what a rainbow table looks like. So, basketball has this hash in 75, I guess. How many characters was that? Websites like CrackStation and HashesCom internally use massive rainbow tables that provide fast password cracking for hashes without salts. Doing a lookup in a sorted list of hashes is quicker than trying to crack the hash. So, yeah, without salts is the thing, right? Protecting against rainbow tables. To protect against rainbow tables, we add salt to the password. The salt is a randomly generated value stored in the database and should be unique to each user. In theory, you could use the same salt for all users, but duplicate password would still have the same hash, and the rainbow table could still be created for password with that salt. The salt is added to either the start or the end of the password before it's hashed, and this means that every user will have a different password hash, even if they have the same password. Hash functions like bcrypt and scrypt handle this automatically. Salts don't need to be kept private. Example of security storing password. You can find many good guides online that promote the best security practices when storing passwords. Please check if there are any standards you need to follow when storing passwords before adopting one. Consider this example following good security practices when storing user passwords. We select a secure hashing function such as argon2, scrypt, bcrypt, or pbkdf2. We add a unique salt to the password such as concatenate the password with a unique salt. For example, where the password is this, the salt string will be this. Calculate the hash value of the combined password and salt. In this example, we're using the chosen algorithm. You need to calculate the hash value of this. Store the hash value and the unique salt used. Using encryption to store passwords. Considering the problem of saving password for authentication, why don't we encrypt password instead of all these cumbersome steps? The reason is that even if you select a securing hashing algorithm to encrypt the password before storing them, we still need to store the use key. Consequently, if someone gets a key, they can easily decrypt all the passwords. Manually check the hash. Okay, so now I get it. This one is in the list above. So 4C59. Do we have more than one with 4C59? 4C59 there. Nothing else? So let's copy this one. So, crack the hash using an online tool. So, I'm like, which icon is it? I'm not a robot. So it is not found with this one. Did I copy it right? So, which ones did it mention? I'm curious now. Hashes come. Right. This was my second try. Capture check. GM4 and WMU. TryHackMe. So should you encrypt passwords in the password verification system? Yeah or nay? Nay. So, in my more here, I have the hash type identifier, which is on hashes.com. And when I did, is it like this, right? Yeah, it didn't decrypt it, but sometimes I got last time I did this, I actually got the answer too. So it seems like it uses this function too, sometimes, which is interesting, right? So, but let's put this one too in here. I don't think I managed to drag it. So no more. Yeah, I had it there. Oh no. Well, I was already on the page.
I knew this stuff about hashing passwords including with salts, but it's nice to have to explained and read out by you. Smile.
Yeah, great, thank you. So it's not useless just because it's simple. Also, I'm thinking that running the commands again, never hurt anyone.
It confirms what I thought I knew.
Yeah. So I probably know everything here, but I still want to finish this, and why not read it, right? So let's continue. Recognizing password hashes. From the cyber defensive security perspective, we covered how to store passwords securely for authentication system. Let's tackle this from the offensive security perspective. If we start with a hash, we can recognize its type, eventually crack it, and recover the original password. Automated hash recognition tools such as Hash ID exists. Let's open that because it is some PyPy. Exists, but are unreliable for many formats. For hashes that have a prefix, the tools are reliable. Use a healthy combination of context tools. If you find the hash in a web application database, it's more likely to be MD5 than NTLM. Okay, remember? This might be useful information, which is kind of logical still. Automated hash recognition tools often get these hash types mixed up, highlighting the importance of learning yourself. Linux passwords. On Linux, password hashes are stored in its shadow, which is normally only readable by root. They used to be stored in its password, which was readable by everyone. The shadow file contains the password information. Each line contains 9 fields, separated by colons. The 2 first fields are login name and encrypted password. More information about the other fields can be found in Mod5 Shadow. On Linux systems, the encrypted password field contains the hashed passphrase with 4 components: prefix, algorithm ID, options, parameters, salt, and hash. It is saved in the format prefix, $option, $salt, $hash. The prefix makes it easy to recognize Unix or Linux side passwords. It specifies the hash algorithm used to generate the hash. Here's a quick table of some of the most Unix-style password prefixes you might encounter. They are listed in order of decreasing strength. You can read more about them by clicking the man page. So, let's do this. I don't know if you can see the shadow file on the machine we're SSH'd into, but we can always try, right? So, the reason I don't like man is because I want all this in the command line easy copyable. So I don't like the scrolling thing. But it's usually good information. But we can find it in Google now, so we don't have to use man. Here we can see the prefix for scrypt, prefix for bcrypt, for Chafron12 crypt, and I'm trying to scroll more. So, my scroll fingers are too tired there. One man and I'm falling asleep. I have some lemon yogurt. It's very good, but maybe I should drink it before it's warm. There's the tiniest bits of lemon in there. So, and it's a bit too sweet. Not as much too sweet as it might have been without lemon. So, why? Yes, crypt is a scalable hashing scheme. It is a default or recommended choice in new
Man
systems.
shadow, call B.
Okay. Man shadow call B. Let's do it.
We'll output the man page, so you can save it to a file.
So, learning is what's the meaning of life, right? So now I can just do this.
Or just scroll up and down.
Yeah. But is this all of it? No. It's not all of it. There was much more. Right, so I did actually man 5 crypt, right? Why is this not in history?
Yeah, I don't think you did man shadow.
No. There. So now we have this long one. And I can easily scroll. And then I need to... It's still not in the history. What kind of trick is this? Filter out reverse line feeds from standard input. No backspaces. So why not? Seriously,
Not sure
not
why
in
it's
there.
not in your history.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
It's in mine. Was it because you copy and pasted it?
It might be because of the new line after. So if I don't put that there.
Sometimes when I copy paste stuff, it doesn't go in my history.
Okay, let's type. So so let's do man call to call B. And see, yeah, it's there. So it's because I pasted, and it's also SSH,
there is a space
right?
at the start of your copy paste, which is when I think it happens.
Right. That's a trick. That's a hacker trick, right? So if you don't want it to go to history, put a space at the start. Yeah. So here we can see.
I might try that.
Yeah, but it's not nice when you want stuff to stay in your history. By the way, let's do this, and let's do man, and
yeah, it doesn't get added to history if there is a space at the start of the line.
Yeah, man 5 crypt 5 Colby. So now we're putting this in my history. So we have it in my machine's history. This is kind of a long man page, so it's not fun to... That was a good trick that I'm gonna put in my notes at once, actually. Thank you very much.
Smile, oh smile.
Very nice. Because when I put things in my notes, I have sometimes had to go to man because there's no help. And then I've been like, oh my god. So this was very great. I will remember call. Have you tried it without the B? So it's funny how it would work, right? So what happens if we forward it to cat? I'm sorry, I can't make notes before I have explored this more. So if we do this to cat instead, because this is what I've done with other things. Yeah. Let's go down here. So we got the same output from both. So we can just forward it to cat instead. I do that with stuff which has overlapping lines sometimes.
It works without the B, but I guess it does something extra.
Yeah, it removed backspaces, it said, the B, when I checked. So...
yeah, cat is good too.
Yeah, so what I've used it for is when I have output that actually goes outside the screen. For example, if you check just processes.
Fixerbot says.
New follower Randerman 3000.
Welcome in and thank you for the follow. So if you have output, for example, checking just processes, and they go off screen, you can make it wrap around by piping it to cats, simply. That's it. So Colby and cat. Let's put them in some kind of notes. Now it's notes time. So this is Linux basics, and it is maybe it's like more general thing, not a command. Well, let's put a command here too.
Jerome Sluck says, the space at the start of a command is one I'm gonna remember too.
Yeah, I kinda knew. I should have thought of it, but I didn't think of it. So So let's give an example here of the man command, right? Man, whatever. My 14-year-old agrees is the best word in the world. Whatever. Call dash B, right? And let's do a help. Oh, what happened there? Oopsie doopsie. Oh, there was a space at the start of the line. I'm like, what happened? Did I break it when I made it purple or something? It was CSS, messing with the CSS, you know. Let's see. I did do the help, but I didn't do it on my Kali machine, right? So let's do call help. It's not that long. So, nah, wrong machine. There. So, what do you think about the purple? Is it horrible? So, I could easily show you what it looks like without the purple. It's the same, like, kinda
Purple is
darkness. Good. Yeah, I like purple, but maybe it's too much. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's good. I took some time, I guess this morning, meaning late yesterday, right? With trying to get the colors to match the how dark it is. So it's not darker and it's not brighter, but it's the same scale of colors. Let's close that calculator. So we can close this too. And let's hop back to this. I'm guessing we will need to do something there soon, right? I didn't do all the notes I wanted though. Sorry. We'll do a bit more. So this is just the call command. Output man page 2 outputs like normal text. This is the main reason I don't like man, but also because it's like so much text, right? It's not just that it's a scrolly thingy. It's just so much more than this is usually enough. The help. But if you need a dig, you need a dig, right? So let's put this in man. Do I have man here? I probably don't. So let's copy this and make man. Right? And here we're gonna add cat too.
Your obsession isn't on screen.
Thank you. You can always switch screens. I think I have that enabled now. Whatever. Cat.
I did spell it wrong too. Smile, smile.
Obsidian. It sounds more magical that way. Right? Magical.
I knew what I meant.
Yeah, exactly. We both understood it, right? It doesn't matter how you spell stuff. Even ChatGPT can understand.
Just typing wasn't happening.
So, there are different types. I'm not gonna read all this. But this list of the prefixes, that is something that we already had a bit of in the notes. So let's hop back there. We just moved the file to a new home here. But it is still under, no, it is here, hash prefixes, right? So here we have some hash prefixes. Now we have a few more to add to the list. So I'm gonna hop this into Notepad quickly. Just do a VAX.
Minus $6.
There. So did that actually break the dollar characters? Or is it this that broke it? Yeah, it's this that broke it. Your is 6. SHA-412. So I should have done this in the text editor. So let's open Notepad again. Each tool has its uses, right? Now I can add these without it hopping around all the time. So, there. Do we have doubles? Yes, we do. I don't care right now. These might need some editing too. But it's findable, right? So, modern Linux example. Consider the following line from a modern Linux system's shadow password file. So, strategics. Why? So I'm assuming we're supposed to look here. Yes, script is new systems. Choice from new systems. So we read that part, right? The fields are separated by columns. The important ones are the username and the hash algorithm, salt and hash value. The second field has the format. So let's look at this again.
Which is the best and worst to use inside the dollar?
Which is the best and worst to use inside the dollar? What? I guess this all to the colon is it, right? So $1, $2, $3.
That list above where you are, it says which is best to use, etc.
Why? Yes script. Scalable hashing scheme, and is the default and recommended choice for new systems. So yes script is the one.
Because that's at the top of the list.
Yeah. And it's also called yes. So, yes. That's it. Or what? Then when it becomes no, it won't be yes anymore.
Okay, so $6 isn't that great.
$6 is SHA-412. Let's see what they say it. It's a hash originally developed for libc and commonly used in older Linux systems. Then we have MD5, so this is so much better. So Bigger based on blowfish.
Still 4 things above it.
Newer. Several instances. Yeah. Yes, you think the first is the best. Maybe they've just listed stuff. It doesn't have to be in order. It doesn't say number 1, number 2.
It says decreasing strength.
Oh, it did? Where? In order of decreasing strength. Oh, it did. It did. Okay, maybe I should add this to my notes there. I'm just copying this to the top of the list. Like that. So I just added it as a header.
Yeah, I think that's important to know.
Yeah. Thank you. You've got some details there I missed. I didn't even read all of it. I'm thinking like if I need to know more about dollar to be dollar, then I will get more information about that, right? Consider the following line from a modern, right? So we had from colon to colon here. This is the prefix, and then we have options, J9T. And then we have this bit here is the salt. And then we have the hash. So, yeah, maybe we should have something in the notes on this too, right? Let's put it also in hash prefixes, because this is like, or maybe we should have this in like a shadow. I know I have some shadow notes here, but it's more like unshadow, right? Unshadow notes. We don't have any shadow notes here. Let's put some shadow notes, because information about the shadow file is kind of good when you're trying to crack the password.
I never knew it was divided up with more dollar in the shadow file.
Yeah, so I haven't really taken note of that either. I'm not sure even if I've seen it. Maybe it's like newer? Yeah, modern Linux. It's a modern one.
Never noticed the extra dollar throughout the field.
Yeah, so I think it's the modern thing, right? So if there's no prefix, you can't even know what kind of hash it is, right? So, oh my, the salt we kind of need to know to be able to check if the password is correct, though. So it's like logical that it saves all information, options.
Ah, yeah, mine
everything.
with the 6 only has the salt, nothing else other than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can check mine too, but not when you're looking, right? Not that my password is a secure one on this. On my Kali VM, you know? But it is there on the TryHackMe network. So I wonder how much protection there is between different customer machines on TryHackMe's network. Could we hack each other's machines, you know? It's an interesting thought. So, shadow. I mean, lots of kids there wanting to play, right? So, example line from modern Linux. So, oh my god. There. So then we take this line here. That's enough. So what we have on the page here, it separates these out for us. We could read ourselves, right?
Rocky Linux 9 only has the $6, Thought that would be modern?
It's probably modern enough. This is like a room that is 77 days old, meaning 2 months. And they've been like, so we're gonna make this very modern now. I don't know. Check. Look what Linux uses JavaScript for their shadow file. Google must be able to censor that, right? Check it out. So, MS Windows passwords are hashed using NTLM, a variant of the MD4. They're visually identical to MD4 and MD5 hashes, so it's very important to use context to determine the hash type. An MS Windows password hashes are stored in the SAMS, the Security Accounts Manager. MS Windows tries to prevent normal users from dumping them, but tools like Mimikatz exist to circumvent MS Windows security. Notably, the hashes found there are split into NT hashes and LM hashes. A great place to find more hash formats and password prefixes is hashcat example hashes. Yeah. For other hash types, you'll typically need to check the length or encoding, or even conduct some research into the application that generated them. Never underestimate the power of
Miranderman
research.
3000 says, I've recently started to hear the text-to-speech from these stream chats and Twitch. Is that a relatively new thing or old?
It all depends. I think that this TTS that I use, it is created by Security. Let's see. Let's do this. Security Live has made this one. I think I have a TTS command. There. And you can also set your voice and your nickname, how the nickname is pronounced. So some people do funny things with that field. So I saw him in the stream. Yes, was it yesterday? The day before? So hope he'll start streaming again too. Anyway, he's created the TTS, and a lot of people seem to use it. At least a few of us. Yeah. I don't know, but maybe. Yeah, he's a real cool guy.
Not seen him around lately. Miranderman 3000 says, thank you.
Yeah. So, but there are older TTSs too, and for YouTube, I'm using something called SpeakerBot. So it's a different one. The TTS over here. So you can't set your voice or anything there.
I believe this voice is called Justin.
Yeah, probably the default voice usually is Justin. Because it's not extremely female or male, so everybody will feel like it's kinda okay, right? That's why he selected that voice as the default Security Live. So, what is the hash size of JavaScript? I guess we JavaScript stuff, right? Let's see if they have a command. Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that. I want to do it. I don't want to read the manual. I want to do a JavaScript. If Linux uses it, it must be able to do it, right? How do we JavaScript stuff? Hash size. Someone Google that. So let's say we want to do it in Kali. I'm just right. There was a link I was going to click to. Oh, this is annoying. yeah, so I just woke up, took a shower, and started streaming. So I'm starting to feel that I've been sitting too much. I've been sitting on a chair for 3.5 hours. Let's see if I can not pull any cords out if I raise this up a bit. There. So. So it's much nicer to be a little bit flexible with how you're standing or sitting or whatever. Maybe a little bit up more. Nice. So, yeah, that's comfortable. I can't even jog here while I actually have a treadmill that fits under the desk, but I'm like, one is finished and one I'm building one, modifying one. Maybe we'll continue that on stream. Because I got it for free because it's broken, so I have to fix it first.
Miranderman 3000 says, off to work. Catch you later.
Okay, have a great day at work. Hope you have a great day at work. So, and welcome back. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I don't want to dig into this, do I? If it existed, shouldn't it have been there already? So I know I searched before for these, all the different commands to do encryption. Oh, I opened it already. Yeah, so here we have these.
Tyrone says,
let's see if my voice and name has changed.
Hi, Tyrone. Got a new name. I'm kind of pulling it a bit up more to the desk. There, now I can move my... I put my feet or my leg up on this stool soft thingy. But when I sit, I'm like leaning back, putting my legs up. But when I stand, it's kind of nice. You can put one leg up at a time and stand in different ways, so you're not in the same position all the time. The body likes it, right?
I usually sit with my feet up on top of my PC, which is on the floor.
Yeah. So on my PC, there's a loose hard drive in a connector, so it's kind of like sensitive. Also, it's over there. It's on the floor though. The side's open and the hard drive on the floor. That we put there on stream. It's my new 20 terabyte. It's still outside. I have to remove the... Though I've actually started trusting it now, because it's been running for some time. So I've started deleting data from this drive at least. And I'm going to remove this and this one because all of this data is in here now. So I'll use these as backup drives outside the computer. Let's see which one is this. Is a 3 one, right? So I'll have this as C, this is D, and this is like a internal backup or something, or temporary stuff. And this one will actually be replaced with... Where is it? I'm doubling the size of this one too. So somewhere on my desk there's a 1 terabyte SSD drive. So maybe this one will be only for VMs then, because that's why it's so full now, because this is only SSD drive in my computer right now. So then I want the my Kali VM in there. So I don't know how much this directory takes, but it's probably, yeah. So it's over 100 gigs at least. On a 400 and something. It's obviously supposed to be 500, but 465 is what is actually the nice marketing decision of using not 1000 but 1024 in a wrong way, right? I'm sure I have this in my notes already, but let's confirm that. I'll actually go check up on my family first, then we'll continue with this. I'll be right back. So, let's check this link that it had, right? And let's search for JavaScript. And it's not in here, in case I spelled it right. So let's do what everybody else seemed to be doing. JavaScript hash size. I was thinking that didn't we already have one, by the way? Here's a better resource. Also, the one before there. This is the same that we looked at. Here we have the Y, hash size 256 bits. Yeah, it was just another tab. So, it's not like we had a lot of choices. It was 256 or 512, right? Well, that's number of letters. What's the hash size listed for Cisco ASA MD5? Let's just see if... Yeah, I'm kind of thinking there's nothing like that in this, right? ASA MD5. It sounds like it's 16. 32. First of all, it was longer than that. It is 4 characters. Oh, right, so the first number here is that. Okay. So why do I keep tabbing when I'm in the same program or same Firefox? Submit, not hint. What hashing algorithm is used for? Yeah, I saw a Cisco iOS in there already. So let's. I'm gonna search for Cisco only. Here is the one with 9. Why do I keep tabbing every time? Okay. So, another tab. Why? Let's just answer and see why is it so many. Hashcat example hashes page. Yeah. Oh, algorithm. Okay, so I was going for the length again. Oh, that wasn't the length. That was the mode. I'm like all over the place. It's a script, right? So I managed to answer this one, though I didn't know what I was answering. Because this wasn't the length. Oh, maybe that is the length, because it's 4 digits. But it's it's Hashcat's code mode code. That's funny. That's funny. I was like, this is a very odd number. This is a very odd number for a length. Oh well. At least I'm not falling asleep when I'm laughing, right? We have low battery in my ear. So, password cracking. We've already mentioned rainbow tables as a method of to crack hashes that don't use a salt. But what if there's a salt involved? You can decrypt password hashes. They're not encrypted. You can't decrypt password hashes. They're not encrypted. You have to crack the hashes by hashing many different embeds, such as rocket.txt, as it covers many possible passwords, potentially adding the salt, if there is one, and comparing it with a target hash. Once it matches, you know what the password was. Tools like Hashcat and John the Ripper are commonly used for these purposes. Cracking passwords with GPUs. Modern GPUs, graphic processing units, have thousands of core. They are specialized in digital image processing and accelerating computer graphics, although they can't do the same sort of work that a CPU can. They're very good at some mathematical calculations involved in hash functions. You can use a graphics card to crack many hash types quickly. Some hashing algorithms, such as bcrypt, are designed so that hashing on a GPU does not provide any speed improvement over using a CPU. This helps them resist cracking. Cracking on VMs. It's worth mentioning that VMs, virtual machines, normally don't have access to the host's graphic cards, depending on the virtualization software you're using. You can set this up, but it is cumbersome. Furthermore, performing degradation occurs as you use a CPU from a virtualized OS. And then your purpose to crack the hash, when your purpose is to crack a hash, you need every CPU cycle. So, you want to run Hashcat. It's best to run it on your host to make the most of your GPU if available. If you prefer MS Windows, you're in luck. MS Windows builds are also are available on their website. You can run it from PowerShell. You can get Hashcat working with OpenCL in a VM, but its speed will likely reverse it cracking on your host. John the Ripper uses CPU by default and works in a VM out of the box, although you might get better speeds running it on host OS. To avoid any virtualization overhead, take the most of your CPU's cores and threads. Time to crack some hashes. I'll provide the hashes, crack them. You can choose now. You'll need to use online tool, Hashcat, or John the Ripper. Although you can use online rainbow tables to solve the following. We strongly advise against doing that, as this will restrict your learning experience. For the first 3 questions, using Hashcat along with Rockyou is enough to find the answers. Hashcat uses the following basic syntax: hashcat, hash type, data type mode, hash file word list, where hash type specifies the hash type in numeric format. For example, M1000 is for NTLM. Check the official documentation, man hashcat, and example page, which we just went looking at here, right? To find the hash type code to use. And also I have them in my notes, so it's easy to search through that instead of something else. Attack mode. Identify the attack mode. For example, A0 is for straight, i.e. trying one password from the word list after one other. Hash file is a file containing the hash you want to crack. Word list is a security password list you want to use in your attack. For example, hashcat M3200 A0 #txt user share word list RACU. We'll treat the hash as bcrypt and write the passwords in the RACU text file. So now we have the questions. Use hashcat to crack this hash. So we can see here we have this is why we got to this list for the basic ones, right? So 2A is not in here. Yeah, it is. Is it bcrypt hash? But let's go to my hashcat instead, and I have the full list of stuff. I think I have all the things here, right? So if we search here for $2A $, and it was also in examples. Come on. I just want to get to the list. It's not in the list. Well, obviously, I've done exactly this with this. So, we will see if it's in my history or not. So, was this really all we needed this machine for? To do this quickly? Oh. Yeah, so this was a bit more messed up than the salts. To test salts. So this was from my oh yeah, it's saved on their machine. We're not SSHing to them just because we want to get this thing. That was funny. It started selecting other stuff. There. Since I had the same numbers there, I thought I'd test it. It didn't work. We couldn't have done this already, could we? Have I done this already? So why did I already do this one? Are they reusing them from other rooms? That's kind of boring, right? If I'm doing this... Have I already done this room? I don't think so. Right? Well, I already had cracked it, right? So, well, nice that the show thing is there, right? Disappointing. Use hashcat to crack the SHA-2 turn for 6 hash. So let's look now for SHA-2 turn for 6 in the notes. To just find here that is 1400, right? And then we go back to this, and we I'm going to delete this string. And 1400. And then we... Yes? Det sa jag igår, gubben. So, let's see. We copy this thing. Over here, we copy this. And then we... Let's see, I'm just gonna see if he doesn't know. He never closes the door. It was my hobby. It was, are you streaming? So at least this one wasn't already cracked. It would have been too sad if all of them were already cracked, right? So, in all, I think that they could be clear, but it's always like this, colon. But sometimes it's not obvious, right? Why not have the answer in this little nice list they have here? Maybe because it's intended for doing more than one at once, right? Anyway, we have Halloween, so we'll submit that. And use hashcat to crack the hash. So let's copy the hash, which is significantly longer now, right? So this one's a 6. We had that in our list, but just to do it, let's see if I have. Let's use the more hash type identifier. So just to test it, right? So imagine we didn't know what this was. It's SHA-512 crypt. Is what it is. So let's check this with our notes. And imagine we only knew the dollars for now, right? So if we put 6 in here, we can still find it here. So we didn't have to use that even, we could just find it from here. But the one I tried before with 2A didn't work, so now we know 1,800. Then we go back here, and we up again, we go over here and do 8. And remove the whole old string. And I'm gonna make sure that I copied the other one. So let's just click there and paste. So it's a kind of long one. Another one. So I'm a bit disappointed that they're reusing their ones, right? Why did I already have that one cracked too? And I Control C instead of Control Shift C. That's why it skips a line there. So at least some of them were not old. And if we would have used their VM as was intended, then we wouldn't have noticed, right? So let's see if it can detect what this is. Search again. Search and identify. Oh, it's an MD5. I would never have guessed. So, then we go back here. And we're gonna check first. Come on. The start menu didn't want to pop up. No, it did. So, I'm just scrolling to the top. 0 MD5. Right? But we notice there are lots of other MD5s. So, let's hop over here. Let's do again. Oh. 0. Another one we hadn't already got. So, what happened? So, the wrong type. So, it says possible algorithm MD5. And if we were to use this on this, we get to know it's fun for you and it is MD5. So why didn't this one work? Oh right, we can check the examples list too. Let's go to the top. And we have MD5 with an example here. And it's 0 as we used. This is pass, salt, salt, pass. Different kind of other stuff, right? So normal MD5 should be 0. Host memory required for this attack 0 megabytes. Hash mode 0. Approaching final key space. Workload adjusted. We did the status thing twice. Let's try show just to do it. Yeah, so there's nothing there. It didn't detect anything. Did I type something wrong? I don't think so. Just for fun, let's run this on their machine. I'm assuming it will be slower here with everything. Maybe it'll just take forever. So we have the answer, right? I don't know why it didn't work though, so I want to know. Let's see what the hint is. You will need to use an online service. Yeah. We did. So now we know it's okay to get the result from the online service then. Okay. I was kind of not doing that because he told us not to, right? That's a bad hint. It should have been here in the question. So this is what it looks like when it's finished on this one. It also got some of these red texts, but not as much as mine. So, fun for you is apparently not in Rocky. Hashing for integrity checking. In task 3, we mentioned that we would focus on 2 uses of hashing: password storage and data integrity. We have extensively discussed how hashing secures passwords and authentication systems. In this task, we will discuss how we can use hash functions to check the integrity of files. Integrity checking. Hashing can be used to check that files haven't been changed. If you put the same data in, you will always get the same data out. Even if a single bit changes, the hash will change significantly, as demonstrated in task 2. This means that you can use it to check that the files haven't been modified, or to ensure that the file you downloaded is identical to the file on the web server. The text file listed below shows the SHA-256 hash of 2 Fedora Workstation ISO files. If running SHA-256 sum on the file you downloaded, return the same hash listed as this signed file, you can be confident that your file is identical to the official one. I'm just gonna go check time here. Yeah. Well, let's add an hour. So head Fedora Workstation checksum. Workstation. You can also use hashing to find duplicate files. If 2 documents have the same hash, they are the same document. This is very convenient for finding and deleting duplicate files. HMAC. Keyed Hash Message Authentication Code is a type of message authentication code, MAC, that uses a cryptographic hash function in combination with a secret key to verify the authenticity and integrity of data. An HMAC can be used to ensure that the person who created the HMAC is who they say they are, i.e., authenticity is confirmed. Moreover, it improves that the message hasn't been modified, i.e., integrity is maintained. This is achieved through the use of a secret key to prove authenticity and hashing algorithm to produce a hash and prove integrity. The following steps give you a fair idea of how HMAC works. The secret key is padded to the block size of the hash function. The padded key is XORed with a constant, usually a block of zeros or ones. The message is hashed using the hash function with the XORed key. The result from step 3 is then hashed again with the same hash function, but using the padded key XORed with another constant. The final output is the HMAC value, typically a fixed size string. The illustration above shows should clarify double steps. And I'm even stuck in a word that doesn't exist in there. So key, XOR iPad text, hash function output, hash function HMAC. So technically speaking, the HMAC function is calculated using the following expression: HMAC KM H Note that M and K represent the messaging key. What is SHA-256 hash of found in? Okay, so we're going back to the machine there. What is the hashcat mode number? So they're not actually doing anything with this, but we're getting more of this. So this is okay, yeah. So key equals $pass. $pass here. 1750. Oh, there, and we're gonna find this on the machine. So let's go back to this one. We're going to do the sun. When you Control C by mistake, you're happy that your SSH did. So, I might do a note on HMAX. Let's do this for now because right? Now let's paste this here. And put this to. I don't know if we need this ever, but we're going to do from here, right? So to rewrite, let's check. So before we hit conclusion. So conclusion. This room covered hashing functions and their uses from various perspectives. Before moving on, we should distinguish between hashing, encoding, and encryption. Hashing, as already stated, is a process that takes input data and processes a hash value, a fixed size string of characters, also referred to as digest. This hash value uniquely represents the data, and any change in the data, no matter how small, should lead to a change in the hash value. Hashing should not be confused with encryption or encoding. Hashing is one way, and you can't reverse the process to get the original data. Encoding converts data from one form to another to make it compatible with specific systems. ASCII, UTF-8, and so on are valid encoding formats for English language. Note that UTF-8 are Unicode encodings, and they represent characters from other languages such as Arabic and Japanese. Another type of encoding commonly used when sending or saving data is not for any specific language. It includes base 32 and base 64. Consider the following example of using base 64 to encode and decode. Yeah, so we've done a million times base 64, right? We can base 64 stuff and we can decode it. So I've never run base 64 only. So let's do it. That's a new thing. So hop to their machine. Let's run base 64. And let's type query. And nothing. Yeah, I've never done this before. This is not how you use this program, right? Now I have to know if this is supposed to be possible. Yeah, so we use D for decode, we use option file. Though usually not file. Yeah, just no file standard output input. So if we do on mine instead, we do base 64, we do test. So I'm thinking that they're not saying anything. The normal way to use base 64, I usually do echo here, right, like this. Pipe it into there. So just typing like that, I don't know really how to limit it and stop it. If someone knows, tell me. So encoding should not be confused with encryption, as using the specific encoding does not protect the confidentiality of the message. Encoding is reversible. Anyone can change the data encoding with the right tools. Only encryption, which we covered in the previous rooms, protects data confidentiality using cryptographic cipher and key. Encryption is reversible, provided we know the cipher and you can access the key. To continue with the module, join Beyond the River. However, if you'd like to gain more in-depth information about cryptography, consider this room. So let's see. Okay. So this we'll put in our TryHackMe since I hadn't done it. Here. What on earth? Where is it? THM. Oh, it's hopped up here again. I removed stuff. So let's put that somewhere. Use base 64. Okay. So decode this. So this is why I have a such ready to just put stuff into. Encode, decode. And we paste that. And sure, you have noted the various counseling tools explored in this room. And when I click this, it will close the thing and hop on, right? So we click the terminate first. And I'm thinking there was this PyPy one. So I'm thinking of looking at this one too, what it can do. Hash ID only, though. That's not very useful. So let's click complete.